Hi, I'm Brien Lundin, and I am conducting another one of our Backstage Metal Investors Forum interviews for the January 2022 Metals Investor Forum. I have the great pleasure to be talking with Andrew Pollard, the CEO of Blackrock Silver Corp, symbol BRC, on the Toronto Venture Exchange. Blackrock is a company that I have been involved in as an investor for a while. I've been recommending in Gold Newsletter for a while. And Andrew, what's interesting to me is the first time you were on the Metals Investor Forum, trading at a far lower price, you gave your spiel. I'd already recommended it in Gold Newsletter, and you were talking about a financing coming up around that time. And I liked your spiel so much, I raised my hand and got into financing quickly. It was a very compelling story right then, as demonstrated as you began drilling. You had the good fortune of drilling your first hole on a very obvious target, came in great, and it was also right about the time that gold and silver were reaching their highs, or kind of an interim market high. So everything fell into place, and the share price doubled or tripled right after that. Everybody was happy, but of course the whole market has come back. You haven't come back nearly as much as the whole market, but what intrigues me is you're a much better company than you were back then. A lot of drilling since then, some key catalysts coming up, and I believe at least that gold and silver are about to embark on another big rally. So the fuse is lit as far as I can see for BlackRock. Tell me if you disagree.
I think you nailed it all on the head there. I mean, we really came out of the obscurity in June or July of 2020 when we connected on our first drill hole, and that drill hole added about $100 million to our market cap overnight. Had Mr. Eric Sprock give us a call the very next day and for a financing, and since then we haven't looked back. I mean, we're not just a one drill hole wonder anymore. We've done over 115,000 meters of drilling in about a year and a half, and we're going to have a maiden resource estimate to show for it in about a month or two from here. And as I share your view. I think that the backdrop in terms of gold and silver prices and just the general tides rising for the industry, I think that's going to be the perfect timing to get this out and really establish ourselves on the radars of people that might not yet be have had a chance to follow us so far. So things are lining up well, but this is just a maiden resource. This is just the first step, but it's a big one.
Yeah, let's talk about a bit about all of that drilling, because that first hit was on the Victor vein where mining had stopped, historical mining has stopped, and I had a feeling that, and why I recommended the company, you were going to duplicate those results, which you did. But that drilling since then has proved that that wasn't a one-hit wonder. You've shown continuity among a number of veins, both along strike to depth and with grade. Very high silver grades, occasionally tainted by very high gold grades here and there. But really prove that continuity. It looks like you're going to come out with a resource that should be impressive or significant. How does the resource that we're seeing right now relate to everything you've drilled and those original results around the Victor vein?
Yeah, no, that's a great overview. I think we use the Victor vein because we figured that was historically that was the thickest vein in the Tonopah Silver District, which is historically one of the largest and highest grade silver districts in North America. But we're the first group to go back in since production shut down due to low metals prices right around 1930, when metals prices tanked right around the Great Depression. We went there because where the reports said they stopped mining, the vein was 24 meters thick. We hit something 29 meters thick on our first drill hole, averaging about a kilogram per ton silver equivalent. And since then, in all the drilling we've done, we've now identified 10 veins, ranging the smallest ones from about 425 meters thick in strike, all the way up to 1.5 kilometers in strike. And these are, nice thick veins. I mean, our Victor vein, as I said, our first hit was 29 meters. We've confirmed that with drill core now, 18 meters all the way, effectively it goes all the way to the property boundary there. In our DPB resource area, which is the area that we drilled out, about a 800 meter by 800 meter infill program, there's 6 veins there. Those veins are averaging about 3 meters thick. Um, and you know, we did 50,000 meters of infill drilling there. So not only have we hit some phenomenal grades, you know, grades up to 27 grams gold and 3 kilos pure silver, but we're showing that these veins are like butter, like they're very continuous. There's no surprises there. So we've gone a long way in terms of not just making some flashy, you know, one-off drill intercepts, but showing that they're not anomalies. These are massive vein corridors. They're all open too. I mean, the only one that's not open is Victor because that goes all the way to our property boundary. But all the other veins, especially our resource area veins, by the time we get this resource out, that resource is going to be stale because you know we've kept you know while we've been doing all the infill drilling last year, we've also did about another 60,000 meters of step out drilling and scout drilling. So it's you know we're going to backstop our valuation with this resource we get out here, but the blue sky is going to be built in from day one. So it's sort of the best of both worlds.
Yeah, I was about to say this is not the end all and be all of the resource because you have gotten very significant hits outside this resource area. You've identified a number of things that are continuous and consistent outside the resource area. This is just the area you've kind of picked to show the market some identified compliant ounces in a resource. In addition to that, you've got some blue sky potential. I mean, this whole area you've been drilling is one of the greatest silver discoveries and silver production areas in U.S. history, if not world history, second only probably to the Comstock lode. So it's a rediscovery, and you have a good idea where a lot of these veins are. But there's another area you've acquired where you're looking at kind of a thematic play or a theory that the mineralization might extend to where it has not been produced. And this opens up tremendous new potential. Let's talk about that a bit.
Yeah, well, we just kicked off a very, very exciting blue sky scout drilling program on a project we call Tonopah North, which is effectively it's the extension of our main project, Tonopah West. But these are BLM claims, so we were able to stake those for which was cheap as chips. It cost us next to nothing. But based off 110,000, 115,000 meters of drilling that we've just done, based off all the geophysical data and the mag data that we've inherited and done ourselves as well, we've taken our understanding of what's going on in the Tonopah Silver District, and we've tracked what we think are 2 massive potentially district scale targets just north of our main project, which are completely undercover. So the historic miners would have missed it back in their horse and buggy days because there wouldn't have been these big outcropping veins and ledges. But what we're seeing are very similar geophysical signatures compared to how they relate to Tonopah Silver District. And we're seeing some key structures that sort of define where most of that gold and silver mineralization is in the Tonopah Silver District. They extend all the way up onto these new claims. And these new claims represent about 4 times our landholding as our main project. So this is the definition of blue sky. We just started drilling these targets this month. And we're hoping, you know, while we wait for the resource or maybe soon thereafter to make some new discoveries. And we've got some very, very high expectations for what we can deliver here. But it's truly amazing that this district, the second largest silver district in the silver state of Nevada, has been hiding in plain sight all this long. And these claims just directly adjacent to and around this massive, you know, all you see is head frames when you go through Tonopah. It's amazing no one's ever really looked at sinking any holes into them because, you know, if you're a geologist going to this part of the Walker Lanes, like going to Disneyland, there's just so much stuff going on there.
Well, I'm really excited to see that as a shareholder. I'm also excited to see this maiden resource estimate coming up very soon, I guess in a month or so from now. The share price has started to strengthen in anticipation of this resource estimate. Still plenty of time, I think, to get involved. I think your best days are lying a few months down the road as you get this new wildcat drilling in, as the resource estimate is out there, and as gold and silver prices strengthen, which I'm pretty confident is going to happen later this spring. Andrew, thank you so much for bringing us up to date on Blackrock Silver. It's an exciting story, about to get more exciting, and I urge everyone to take a good hard look at it while they can.